Hi, fourth graders. Today you are going to learn how to use a protractor. And a protractor is a tool that we use to measure angles. All right, let's start by reminding ourselves about some angles. Is the measure of the angle below less than 90, equal to 90, or greater than 90? Explain your reasoning. So I want you to think about a 90-degree angle. A 90-degree angle we call a right angle and has a perfect corner. So let's take a look and see that 90-degree angle that I just put on your screen is a perfect right angle. And as you can see, this is not a right angle because it is not fully 90 degrees. It is less than. All right, let's remind ourselves about angles. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. And a straight angle is exactly 180 degrees. All right, let's watch a quick video about a protractor. Hi, fourth graders. So we just in our PowerPoint went over the angles a little bit. And today, or now, we're going to take a look at the actual protractor. So this is a protractor. Okay, it looks a little bit like a ruler, and it's a tool used for measuring and drawing angles. If you look at the top of the protractor, there are angle measurements going from 0 all the way to 180. And if you look at the inside of the protractor, there are measurements going all the way from 0 to 180. So it depends on your angle as to which numbers you look at, and that is what we're going to talk about today. The other thing you see on here, there's a little ruler at the bottom, a little straight edge. We will use that later. And there's also this little hole in the protractor, that helps you to create the vertex of what of the angle you're trying to draw. So that's just a couple things to note about our protractor. The trickiest part about a protractor is deciding which numbers you look at. And so I actually have some angles that I've already drawn here. And if I look at the vertices, if I look at the vertex, this is my angle, and I have to decide, am I looking at these two numbers or these two numbers? And then here, this same idea is, am I looking at, let me just line it up. Am I looking at these numbers on the bottom or these numbers on the top? And that's what we're going to look at right now. Okay, so let me just line up this in my camera. All right, so you can use a protractor to measure an angle. First, you line up either mark on the 0 degrees on the protractor with one ray of the angle. So the 0 degree mark is this hole right here. And so I like to kind of make it darker with my pencil or my pen, and I'm lining it up. This part right here is where I'm lining it on my ray. Okay, right there, that part right there. This right here, I can use either ray. I'm just gonna use the one that's kind of flat right here. Now, this is tricky because I can't really measure this angle very well because my ray isn't tall enough. So now I'm going to use my straight edge of my protractor and make my ray longer. That doesn't change my angle, it just helps me to see it better on my protractor. So now I know that I'm either looking at these numbers or these numbers. So this is my angle. My angle, I know, is obtuse. Here's 90 degrees right here, okay? That would be a perfect 90-degree angle, a perfect right angle. So I know that my angle is going to be between 91 degrees and 180 degrees, which remember is our straight angle. So if I look here, I'm either looking between 120 and 130, or between 50 and 60. I know that I have an obtuse angle, so this angle must be 125 degrees because it is directly between 120 and 130, and I have an obtuse angle. Let's do a little practice with that. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right paper. All right, let me just line up myself here. All right, so here is this angle right here. This angle measurement is right here. I'm looking for this angle. I know that this angle is acute. So I know that it is less than 90 degrees. I'm going to take my protractor and place it on my vertex, which I've made red because it's a little easier to see. And I'm lining it up along this line right here. It's kind of like when you're measuring something on a ruler, you always line it up at 0. This is helping me to line up this at 0 degrees so that I can measure the angle. Now, my angle doesn't meet my protractor, and so I'm going to once again use the straight edge of my ruler and extend it so it's easier for my eye to read. Okay, I'm going to lay this on top, and I have my two numbers here. It's either between 40 and 50 degrees or between 130 and 140 degrees, depending on what kind of angle I'm measuring. I am measuring an acute angle, so my measurement is halfway between 40 and 50 degrees. Halfway between 40 and 50 degrees is 45 degrees. And so that is the measurement of my angle. Let's look at this angle right here. So, upon first thinking, what kind of angle do I have? It is, if I look here, 90 degrees would be straight up like this, straight up and down like right here with a right angle. But I have, this is an obtuse angle. Okay, and if it's an obtuse angle, I know it's going to be between 91 and 180 degrees. I'm going to line this up. Oh, same problem I had as last time, so I'm going to extend my line and then line it back up so that my vertex is in the circle right here and that one of my rays is right along this line. And I'm going to look here, and I wonder if you can see it. It's a little tricky to see. Right there, it's at exactly 150 degrees. If it went any further, let me just put this here. If it went any further, it would be, if I had it a little further, it would look like 30, but we know that this is an obtuse angle, so it has to be at 150 degrees. So that is our angle. So the only other tricky part, and I'm going to, is if our angles looked different, if our angle looked like this. So if our angle looks like this, and we are measuring this part of the angle right here, the bottom ray is right here, and that's my second ray. I'm going to line it up once again, but this time, remember, we're going to be looking at whatever numbers give us a degree angle that's less than 90 because we have an acute angle. So I'm going to look here, and I see that I need to read these numbers right here between 30 and 40. And so this is a 35 degree angle. So that looks a little different than the other ones we did.
All right, let's go back to our PowerPoint.
Hey, fourth.
All right, so a protractor is a tool that is used to measure angles, and we looked at this in the video. The protractor below shows that a measure of 90 degrees, and Kara draws another angle. And what is the measurement of her angle? So we are trying to find out how many degrees are in Kara's angle. So we can use this tool called a protractor. And in our video, we talked about how we know this is an obtuse angle. So we know that the set of numbers we are looking at are going to be greater than 90. Oh, we just answered that. So these are the two questions I want you to ask yourself when you are measuring angles. What kind of angle is this? So what set of numbers will I use? So Kara's number has to be between 90 and 180. Those are benchmark numbers, meaning they're ones that help us decide where something falls in between. So let's look at this angle. This angle is greater than 180. It's called a reflex angle. So what is the measurement of this angle? So we're going to look. I know that this is, it's like we have two protractors stuck together, and I'm going to go past 180 because I'm measuring the red part of the angle. And so I'm going to go past, and my angle is in between 230 and 240. So it is, if I can get the pen to work here. Oop. It is 235 degrees. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Oh, sorry. I was there. All right. So what is the angle of this one? Think again to yourself. What is the measurement of what kind of angle is this? And what set of numbers will we use? So if I look here, my angle is right here is acute. So what kind of numbers will I use? Well, this is a 30-degree angle because it is less than 90 degrees because it is acute. So it is at 30 degrees. So I have put the protractor here for you to use. What is the measure of this angle? Think to yourself, what kind of angle is this? What set of numbers will I use? Okay, I'm going to post this in the calendar, but this is a game that you can, or a work that you can do, activity. And so what you're going to do is you're going to move this, you're going to place it right where it needs to go, right? So see how we have a 0 right here? It's going to go at 0 degrees, and you're going to see what the angle is. See this little cross mark right here? That goes in the very middle of the vertex. And then you can type your answer here. And when you finish, there is a check right there. Now, something quickly for you to know, it says that you have to use the shift key to move it. So if I wanted to change the direction and move it around, so let's say I'm measuring this angle right here, I hit the shift button and then I can move it so that I can make sure I'm putting it right at my vertex, lining it right up there. All right, this link will be in the calendar for you to use and to click on to do some practice. When you're done, take a picture of your work and let your teachers know how you did. We miss you.